Welcome. I'm Jeff Cobra, and this is another edition of Disney News on Parade. We're here with an Epcot update, and I'm just sitting this evening enjoying France on the shores of World Showcase. It's a beautiful evening, and in fact, I think it's probably going to be the last evening you can really get away with short sleeves. Looks like the weather's finally getting ready to turn, and nobody's disappointed by that news. It's been a very long, hot summer. In fact, actually, I recorded this earlier, only to realize I was one big pile of sweat after I recorded it during the day. Hey, we have a wonderful selection of photos that accompany this video that kind of showcase all the things that are happening here at Epcot. But let me summarize some of the highlights for you if I can. The first is just right at the beginning of Epcot, the new parking or the new tram loading unloading station, along with a new security entrance. Big, wide, very spacious, much like Disney's Hollywood Studios. So it's an ideal design. It's not particularly inspiring by any means. Could use a little bit more shade, but notwithstanding, I think it's a helpful addition that needed to happen. Probably the biggest part of that is that now guests arriving by monorail from the TTC or even the Magic Kingdom won't need to go through security again in order to enter Epcot. So that's a huge bonus, huge plus. Got lots of photos of construction going on in the very front of Epcot, and you'll see some of those photos. You'll see that the fountain is still being preserved. It's going to be redone kind of retro style to what the fountain was originally. And so I'm kind of excited to see that. You'll also see that flanking Epcot on the right side and the left side of Spaceship Earth, you'll see that some berms that had a lot of forested areas have all been removed. Possibly, for those of you who remember going way back to the days of Communicore, you'll recall that you used to be able to actually go and make a hard right after you exited Spaceship Earth. You were able to then go through another set of doors and right smack into the living seas. It was with the addition of interventions that they actually then started forcing the guests to go all the way out to the breezeway, cut over, then make a U-turn and go back into living seas. I hope that's what they do with all these changes. It really needs to be a much more, and the same thing I would say with the new Guardians of the Galaxy attraction going in as well. Those attractions need to be more accessible from the front and not force guests to have to go all the way around to get to them. Especially living seas, which frankly has such a capacity for taking on so many guests. It's been under capacity for so many years. One of the things you'll see in the photos is that there is a new signage as you get off of the attraction. I think this is so very helpful because a lot of guests don't know that there are other things to see. So you'll see signs to show dolphins and turtles and sharks. I think especially younger guests will find appeal in that and possibly head toward other locations within Seabase Alpha to check it out and to spend more time within that attraction. This is also a really good opportunity to announce something that really has not been shared generally. It happens that National Geographic is currently doing a lot of filming at Disney's Animal Kingdom, at the Living Seas, and elsewhere. You'll know that National Geographic, as part of the Fox acquisition, is going to be part of Disney Plus. And while it's not on the listing for those shows that are originally going to be coming, National Geographic folks have sent camera crews, and they're not spending days, they're not spending weeks, they're spending months back of the house, front of the house, in these attractions and throughout these parks to capture some of the great lessons that can be applied toward National Geographic. So you heard that news here first. Look for that. I think that's going to be really exciting as you see that unveiled. As for the rest of Future World, well, of course, the big fountain has come down. And on Future World East, I have to say that is probably the most disappointing area because other than Mission Space and Test Track, it is basically the world of walls. There's so many walls up. with all the construction going on. Lots more to come in that area. So it's going to be really quite interesting to see how that unveils. Heading over to World Showcase. Wow, so much construction going on. The scaffoldings come down from most of the construction on rehabbing the mountain range that inhabits Canada. And I gotta say, it looks great. The colors are much more insatiated. And while that wasn't really great rock work done originally, it's still such a great part of the landscape there in the Canada Pavilion, with all the flowers in front and the Hotel du Canada adjoining it. It's just going to be terrific when it's done. I look forward to seeing the falls return in that little nook, and of course the film. Lots more going on when you head to France, of course. Here we've got a lot of construction going on for the new Ratatouille attraction and for the creperie that'll go as part of that adjacent area. I'll show you a photo in the photos that show you the pathway that will lead you to the back part of the attraction. And you can also see it, by the way, when you're on the Disney Skyliner during the day. Let me tell you, there are a number of things that are currently closed right now, minor things. In Morocco, the gallery, most people, by the way, don't even know that there is a gallery in Epcot. And it doesn't help for the fact that the guide maps no longer even indicate this in their overview of the park. But actually, there are museum galleries. There's, I think, 5. So you name Epcot, Mexico has one, and Norway has one in the Stav Church, and China has one, and American Adventure has a beautiful one with Native American focus on Native Americans right now. Definitely check that out. And then this one in Morocco, and kind of a minor one in the entrance to the French, to Impression de France, which, by the way, is closed also right now in preparation for the new sing-along of Beauty and the Beast, which is going to come in really soon. And then, so that is closed, and then this Moroccan gallery, and then over at American Adventure, you have the store. Most people don't realize that the store is currently closed while the art gallery that was in the front of Epcot is going to move to American Adventure. And then, of course, the new restaurant is coming that will be a sort of barbecue location at American Adventure. A lot of excitement around that, to see that completely redone as well. Couple other things. Check out the mosaics that I show, kind of a little hidden gem that a lot of people don't see when they're in Italy. And this one, boy, this is one I had never seen. I cannot believe I could almost slap myself that I had never seen this. Most people see the little Hansel and Gretel characters that come out with the glockenspiel and ring the bell on the hour, and I think the half hour, maybe the quarter hour too. And so my eye has always paid attention to that. Right now, for whatever reason, that's not working and not operating correctly. But when the glockenspiel started playing, it suddenly drew because there wasn't that to focus on, I suddenly drew my eyes above it. Did you realize that there is actually a rooster that is on top of that tower that comes out and flaps its wings during the glockenspiel play? Again, you think after hundreds of visits to Epcot, I would have seen something like that, but that was the first time I've ever noticed that. So many things happening at Epcot, so many things to see. That's why people love World Showcase. You can go around and just see something new every time you come and visit. And with all the new attractions, we're going to put a link in. I got to remember to put a link in for the Epcot experience. If you have not checked out my video, I have a great video that captures that attraction when it was fairly empty, so you could see all the things that are coming to Epcot. Check that out. Also, if you're not familiar, I actually have a book on Apple Books on Epcot. It's an unusual book that looks at the kind of the business behind Epcot, and it's check that out as well if you do Apple Books, that might be something of interest to you. Wonderful graphics and photos in that little book. But anyway, that concludes my evening here during the annual Food and Wine Festival here at Epcot. We hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, whether at work or play, remember, follow the compass of your heart. Have a great evening.